paper towels and napkins.
Raise it high up the ladder, let we set it on fire. A little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo, a little more shango. Kindly greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maypole.
Good evening once again, and welcome to Oui Culture. Yes, folks, our usual Friday evening get together. Yeah, of course, we get together and we discuss a lot of issues, as it relates to our culture. Just before we get into that and we bring in the team, we just want to remind you of our Beyond the Headlines program on Monday, where the panel will examine external influences causing the hike in the cost of living, as well as ways to adapt or possibly stem the tide. Yeah. Host Stevenson Warm will be joined by Minister of Trade and Export Development, the Honorable Joseph Handel, the General Manager of Grenlec, Clive Hostin, and the President of the Grenada Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Mr. Emmanuel Duncan. All right. So, folks, we welcome you once again, our viewers on GBN Television, of course, our friends on the Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also our listeners of K105 FM. We welcome you, and of course, it's always a pleasure to be here, to chat with you and to share some of the joy as it relates to our culture. Last week, we looked back at Carnival 2022. Of course, we had a long break and it was back. And, lots of wonderful things happen, in addition to some hiccups. Yeah, and I'm just quoting some of the people who were involved. But tonight, we're gonna continue looking at it, but we want to do some specifics. And tonight, we want to look particularly at Queen Show. All right. Very, very interesting, and I know you're going to enjoy some of what you'll be hearing this evening. So let's welcome the guest, Finlay. No, Big Ten. Big Ten. So you mean, don't try that though. So you play that right, I call it to the people and them fan you making,
So yeah, Big Ten and Small Ten.
Yeah, well, I only know Big Ten. when you take long to reach 10, then that Big Ten, When you see 10 day, you had the one in your hand just to take the zero, and you can't reach it,
I will take that.
What you mean? You
Big Ten.
You have plenty name, Big Ten, Keeper the Flame, what Mango Nestles Milk, a lot of other name, Yeah, so you gotta get ready. Yeah, man. So, well, of course, it's a pleasure to be back, and we welcome you. I saw Reece earlier.
Yes, I see Reece. She playing shadow with us. She reached early, so she playing bright, but she's there somewhere. I don't know if she and Flo having some disagreement tonight. But, she should be there. I haven't seen Doc. I don't know where he disappeared. Doing it dark. I don't know if he's doing it darkly things. I don't really know, but
I hope he ain't dock us. There's docking. Next thing he dock us.
I don't know what's going on with him. I haven't heard from him for some time, but it's good to be back.
Yes.
And let's discuss. I mean, Queen Show is a nice one, and it's actually a show in the carnival that generates much interest, and of course it usually starts off the thing, you know. It usually starts off the thing, and we have seen all kind of thing happening in Queen's Show and all kind of changes and so on. So let's strike the bell and let's discuss.
Well, I mean, I was hoping to let the Queen start up, but like she gone and hide. Queen, where you? No, boy, I feel you look like she dark us too, you know. I wonder what's going on there.
I know.
In any event, she won't come in a little bit. She will come in because she's there.
But she likes to put in her appearance anyway, so
yeah, definitely. But you know, the Queen Show issue, it goes back a long way, and there are a lot of things. We've seen a lot of changes over the years with the Queen Show. I remember the days, particularly where you had the parish queens. So every parish would have their Queen Show, and the winners would come down on Queen Show night and they would compete. So then you have Miss St. Andrew, you have Miss St. John, Miss St. Mark, Miss St. everybody. They used to have Miss St. Carrico, I don't remember, you know.
I ain't sure I know.
I don't remember. I don't remember if those days, I really don't remember. But that's how it used to be. And over time, you know, we've seen the changes where they started selecting. I don't know if they couldn't find or they couldn't, well, they had actually stopped having the parish shows at one point, and so they would go into the parishes and select people. So although you had queens representing the parishes, it was not from a parish show per se, but they would go into the parishes and identify someone, I guess someone who had interest and wanted to be part of the show, and then they would start to train them. They had to train them to walk, they had to train them to talk, you have to train them, all kind of training there is to get. And on the night, still, you always have all kind of humorous. In fact, it was one of the shows I used to love to go.
Right.
I don't want to say the reason because people might find, it's horrors. But nevertheless, it was a show I used to love to go until what I used to enjoy most kind of stop happening, and so I guess I am guilty of being one of the persons who have probably lend itself to the large numbers or lack thereof.
Lack thereof. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, the funny thing about Godfrey, and I want to backtrack a bit before we even go into all of those little nitty-gritties and so on. The fact is that when you think of Queen Show, right, and you think of Carnival, you think to yourself that the whole Queen Show business seems to be out of place.
Yes.
Where did this thing come from? And why is it in Carnival? Because I know for years there were debates and so on as to whether Queen Show should be in Carnival, whether it's a beauty thing, whether it's what and what and what. Then they put a little costume in it, so you kind of have one little aspect that look as Carnival with a little costume and so on. And then they say in that little costume section, you have a thing they call the spirit of the carnival.
Spirit of the carnival, yes. The spirit of the carnival.
So I guess we could kick up and dance up a bit more. But that really is the only thing in Queen Show that you can pinpoint as having any kind of link to what we celebrate in Carnival, you know. So it sort of begs the question. I mean, we understand where Queen Show and Pachan and so on come from. You have that all the time. I mean, you have Miss World, you have Miss this, Miss Universe,
Miss all kind of thing.
All kind of Miss. But
and you have so much mistake.
we ain't coming to that yet. Because you have a lot of things with Queen Show, because Queen Show have your criteria. You talk about it going in way and get queen and so on. But you have certain criteria for queen, and what queen is supposed to be. I remember there was a queen I hear who had win the crown, and then I believe she make a child or some kind of nonsense thing. So
and they take back the crown?
They want to take back the crown. All this kind of nonsense.
You hold on, stick up in there. You're right. I don't know if you recall, I wonder if you just follow Miss Wallen kind of thing, but there was a year when Miss Venezuela won Miss World, and during the course of the time she get fat. And that caused all kind of things. So yes, you're right.
Yeah, so you have to wonder to yourself, what is it fit with Queen Show? I mean, we have accepted it. It actually kicks on the week of Carnival. But what is it fit in terms of Queen Show and Carnival? And I wish that Doc and Reece would have been here to expatiate on this, because really and truly, when you really try to rationalize it, you'll find very little rationale except for the little costume part. Well, nowadays, you will find rationale with the bikini section, because
that's what masses.
That might become bikini section, so it could enjoy before its time. So you'll find rational, but this pretty gong, and you have times that they have
man, the thing is, they call it thing evening wear.
By the frack.
Man, evening wear. You don't call it thing right? Evening wear. Them long, shiny thing with all kind of.
Them long maxi dress.
And I tell you, it's not maxi, it's maxi.
What?
Maxi.
By maxi, I tell you.
What is what you
want. So really, and I expect that you get some contributors and some callers and so on. What really is that fit? How does this Queen thing fit into the whole thing? And then of course, when you think about it, Godfrey, the Queen show, I don't know if because it's Queen, the Queen thing is treated much differently to, let's say, King in Calypso and so on, and that had always been a major concern and controversy. Point of controversy. Yeah, between Calypso and Queen, because they always feel that Queen gets treated better. You always, when you hear Queen get prize and things, Queen get a lot of add-ons and things with the prize.
Yes, of course.
Queen might get to story some way. Queen might get the right plane.
They get all kind of things. Well, you remember that had caused Sparrow to boycott the Calypso competition in 57.
That's right.
And 58, and he went and have his own thing, because I recall the last time when we had this Sparrow Day, I was giving them some information as to what the Queen actually got as compared to the Calypso King, because the Queen got all kind of companies make things available, big brand name watch, all kind of thing.
Yeah, man.
And the Calypsonian don't get it, not know, a few dollars, less than $100.
That's right, and that has been traditional. You always hear the Queen might get some kind of jewelry, some kind of big time thing, and then on top of all that, when they calling out Queen results, you only call the first Queen, so they calling everybody.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But the Queen, they only call 1 to 3, and everybody else 4.
Yes.
So you don't have no last something to suffer the indignity and so on. And then on top of that, Queen don't have second and third.
No, man, you don't have that.
Queen have first runner up.
Second runner up.
No, people don't say first runner up is second. First runner up not second. Too.
You come first?
No, first runner up is not second. First runner up is first. You are forcing it. Once you are forcing it.
Oh, so you come, well, I get you. So the first runner up come first, and then you are the queen.
You are the queen, you are first, and you are second. That's how it is. Because first runner up and second is two different things. I mean, I would have like, remember last week I tell you I come 9 seconds. Calypso.
So you come nine first runner up.
Yes, and still first in it. It's more important than second. So you see how they make this thing in such a way, and Reece by Instagram, she might start shitting about woman thing and whatnot.
Yeah, and look, I find she face swell up already. We talking about that she mouth swell up and thing already.
I mean, come on. What is first runner up? Just say them people come second, who come third, who come fourth, but no way. Because it's queen, second becomes fourth. And third becomes second. And they put some kind of runner up. Why is it runner up? Runner up. Runner up. But only for queen. They would never say that for Calypso. They say Calypso win crown and then you have first runner up and all this that.
Well, the queen is with us. So let me hear what she had to say about the queen show.
Good night, everyone. Good night, viewers. Good night, listeners. Remember to share the program. I only running all the mouth, but I don't know what y'all thinking. You know that when it comes to Calypso, it's mostly a male-dominated sector. All it is hard back man, and they want to hear about first runner up. Like, people need to treat y'all gingerly. Y'all can't handle 4th, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and last. So,
well, Scholar, we got to show them woman from Calypso competition, because if one comes second,
it's mostly male dominated. Had it been female dominated, we might have considered that.
So, and Queen is female dominated? Queen show?
Yes.
You ever have a man in Queen show?
Hold on. Queen show has so much clout. You know, he does have man Queen show too. Man does just a bit high.
Yes, I witnessed one in Carriacou already. They call it King show, but it's Queen show for men.
I find
it's King. Yeah, they have men.
By men Queen show
and King show.
No, it's men. I don't agree with you on that one. It's men Queen show. Yeah, what do you mean?
I still try to put it.
It's men Queen show. You know what King show? You ever heard the King show? Wherever you have that is men
King
Queen
show is Calypso Monarch.
Yes.
King show is.
Yeah, and yeah, men Queen show.
For men or men Queen show.
Yes,
so,
I will receive that one. Just me.
Once me and leader free agree on
that. What you want? When we see that one, you make a joke. It's men in high heels all kind of thing, you know.
I thank you.
No, man.
I thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. this and that. Mr. and Mrs. Tam, CC.
They joke, they make you with that.
Whatever.
That is joke with that. But we see we were looking back at the Queen show. And Scholar want to know where that thing come from.
Queen show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from either. You know, maybe the public might be able to tell us why there is a Queen show during Carnival. And maybe it's because there's always been the Calypso shows, and as we said before, it's male dominated. So they had to come up with something for the women. And of course, we are fragile and, you know, pretty, people to look at, people to admire. So maybe that is how it evolves. I don't know. Maybe the public might be able to tell us.
Well, I hope so. Because Scholar...
I bet if Doc did Doc know, you know, Doc.
You Doc know all this kind of thing on them, you know. Anything.
If Doc did Doc know, you know, Doc tell you when the French.
The the English, the Dutch.
And then Blaze.
Doc is a knowledgeable guy. He's a knowledgeable guy.
And then mind you, he tying in something from Africa, you know. Africa must have some kind of Anyway, Doc say he coming late. Doc say he go join a little late, so hopefully Doc will come in just now, and Doc will have the information. But you know, we are talking about, you know, all the over the years, I mean, ever since this whole thing came, there has been discussions about it. And Scholar, one of the things that came to mind first was Mr. X. Yeah. Remember, he had this calypso, my Carnival Queen, and he went on to outline what the Carnival Queen should be.
Carnival Queen would be like,
you know, and that was a classic. But
but you know, most people.
Remember, Gabi also had Miss Barbados.
Yeah, Miss Barbados. She yes.
Never hear about
flying fish.
Yeah.
In fact, that came up when I think it was a Canadian who took part in the Bajan Queen show and won, you know. Yeah, because you know, song he say Miss Barbados is a Canadian puppy show. So the Queen, I mean, I don't know. The country that is most noted for Queen is England, Great Britain. So maybe, and I guess we were colonized by the British for a while. Citizen Rolo might tell you, oh no, we still are colony in Great Britain because
we're always aspiring to have our own queen, is that it?
I don't know if it's the own queen, well maybe. Okay. But I'm wondering if this thing didn't come all the way back there, from there.
Okay.
You know? So
but you know, there was some negative connotations about these queen shows, eh? Mm-hmm. They have been sold to us now as a parade, a pageant that helps build women's self-esteem, and it changes their outlook on life, especially when they have certain platforms that they decide to carry out during their reign, you know, how they impact society and things like that. But before, I remember going for Queen, there was something about it that it was kind of like, yes, it means you're pretty. It means you're good looking. But there was also some negative connotations about it, the things you wear on stage, you're exposing your body. It was kind of like Christian, ungodly like to go and participate in Queen Show. And with that, you saw people who belong to certain denominations, it was like an abomination for you to go and expose your body like that. Mm-hmm. Now, if we were to go by what we see on parade day on the street and everything with all the beautiful women, we're looking back and we thinking Marilyn Monroe, and there was like piece of cake.
Well, Skulls made the point earlier before you join us, because you know, you were asking you know, if about the connection then with Carnival, because you are evening wear, all kind of thing, and you know, high heel and all kind of thing. And in Queen Show, as an aside, them queens has had to make up. They hear us do about 5 every appearance they have to make on stage. They come with a different hairdo.
Have an entourage.
Yeah, sometimes in the first round, they might come with a hair press. Second round, they might come with braids. The third round, they might come with weave on. Fourth round, they might come with heave on or leave on.
Fourth round, they come with the trim. And then fifth round, they come with the half roll.
Exactly, and right now, when you see it, every hairstyle, including braids, it have wigs for all. So you can afford to change your hair for every appearance.
So you have ballet wig?
We're waiting for you to wear it. When you start wearing it, we go to.
Yeah, ball of the week. But Skulls, hold on. When before them queens put on the weave on or the heave on or whatever it is, they had to put on a ball of the week first, you know. And
What?
then they put the thing. Then they had to put the thing over it. You see it?
It's a cap to keep the hair tamed and flat.
Well, yeah, ball of the week.
That a ball of the week.
Ball of the week. It's a ball of the week.
Oh my
So
God.
you have to put on the ball of the week first. Because you can't put here on here. You understand?
Right.
So like Doc could just put on a wig because Doc
And you
me no I hear man. I hear what you mean that way.
Right.
Scholar got to put on a ball of the wig because I find it growing. I don't know why he growing these days if he's locked.
I have a mohawk wig.
No, Carnival, where I'm so finals, I had to put on a ball of the week first.
I know well anyway, the doc is here. So we just know we were seeking some information and some clarity on certain things. So the doc has arrived. So Doc, first question. Before I even say good night, we want to know where Queen Joe come out and which it.
Good night, our listeners to GB and all and those persons on this medium. The truth is, I really don't know what Queen Joe.
But how you could don't know? We sit down here. Hold on. We sit down here waiting on you.
I thought that was Scholar's speciality. So I left it. It's a long time now. Scholar wanted to do the Queen Show, and not only that, when I saw that role,
A long time
played.
A long time no one to know what way Queen Show come out, and I know you have know this thing.
But we sit down here. Is now we sit down here waiting on you?
When I saw the role Scholar played in the Calypso finals, Scholar could have gone for Queen.
No, she doesn't go for Queen, Mr. Man. Don't try
And
it.
the talent was singing.
Don't try that. But you have to know. Come on, now, Doc. It don't have something to do with Blaze going to back Blaze and Blaze and come on, and showing our dosa.
No.
You boss, but of course, you got to talk about all.
You're talking about our Queen Show. I tried to find out in terms of way before Jennifer hosted, there was Queen Show hosted in Grenada. If that is what you're talking about.
No.
But
where Queen Show? No. Where Queen Show come out?
And which year?
Carnival.
I did not get that history. Unfortunately, sorry, I did not get that because.
No, Doc, we got to fly. You have to stop that kind of thing. Doc, no. You come last day. We sit down here long, waiting on you to come because we sure. We getting that thing clear. Don't you come and tell us you don't know.
Go back where you come out.
Listen up. When you say you're coming late, I figure. We'll take the break. I figure when Doc say he coming late, and the reason he give, I figure well no, Doc lie. Maybe Doc didn't get a chance to put the whole thing together, so he taking a few minutes to organize that. So when he come, he go just. But
I had some visitors. It was difficult to leave them, so I apologize for being late. But I couldn't afford to not to give them some coconut water and some watermelon.
So hold on. So
your friend color change. It's black now.
Hey.
Mine no change yet. You know how you allowing that to happen. Your frame change, mine no change.
We see. You're supposed to be on my side. What kind of thing is that?
Yes, but I can't be on your side when I still have the same turquoise frame. And you have black. You had purple the last time. Y'all back me up here now.
Anyway, watch. We will take a break. You and Doc will discuss all your frames during the break. When we come back, we will continue. Stay with us, folks. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
Look at the fountain, the disco. little more, a little more Shango. Finally greasy pole.
Hubbard's is adapting to the times to enhance your shopping convenience with its new online store. You can now shop for appliances, hardware, houseware, builder's material, and still enjoy free delivery island-wide. Start shopping now at www.hubbardshardware.gd. Safe, convenient, reliable. Hubbard's. Quality service, affordable prices.
If there was ever a time to keep and stay healthy, it's now! We at Hills and Valley are here to help you take deliberate steps to maintain your health. We stayed true to maintaining the most comprehensive rates while stocking the widest range of medicines and health devices, including personal protective equipment. There are so many benefits shopping with us. You get great savings through discounts for senior citizens and reward cards for loyal customers. Ask about owning yours today. Visit us at Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George, Jubilee Street opposite the Grenville Bus Terminal, and at Hillsborough, Carriacou. Our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street also stocks the widest range of pharmaceuticals. We are with you on the hills and in the valleys. We are Hills and Valley Pharmacy.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue. Available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
This could be out. Brilliant catch. What a stunning catch.
The biggest party in sports, the Caribbean Premier League, is back and live on GBN television. Capture the energy, excitement, and euphoria of the beloved game. 34 matches, 6 teams, only one to be crowned champion. The action starts August 31st and runs until September 30th. Live on GBN television and K105.5 and 105.9. It's no carnival, but you will enjoy the mass.
And you're kidding me! You are kidding me! Al-Sari chose.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. A little more calypso. Forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo. A little more Shango. Finally greasy pole. And we don't dance on the maple.
Okay, welcome back everyone. It's We Culture, and of course we continue to look at Carnival, but tonight specifically, looking at the Queen Show competition, and trying to, get some information about it, and of course to look into some of the wonderful aspect of the Queen Show. So, Doc, I'm coming back to you on Queen Show. You recall the days when and myself and Scholar was talking about it earlier, when it started, when you had the parish competition. And out of that, so the winner, they would come down Queen Show night and represent their parish. But over time that changed, and then they went into the parishes still and identified people. But there are certain criteria how you select people for Queen. So you have to help us out there again.
Bridget, I don't know if you recall that we used to have Queen Show in the school in Tivoli.
Yes.
So and at one time this was something was really proliferated in rural villages, that people they would have queen shows in different places. I remember in Riverside School. Also, Peter Bain had a very famous one. So I'm agree with you, but also saying that at one time in villages and in schools they would have queen shows. They said though that in the schools they did not used to have the bikini contest, the bikini part of it being exhibited, but that was something that was widely used at one time. I also believe though that when you ask me where it originated from, I can't say, although I have a strong suspicion it came from the United States or maybe England, but all the depiction used to be of European style beauty. So our ladies, our dress code or the hairstyle, etc., was basically of kind of European reflections in our beauty. So I remember Rainbow City. We used to have Rainbow City Queen Show, and then the person that won that contest was from St. Andrew, and St. Andrew used to be, you have different persons from the various villages would go up and contest. I don't know if the same thing happened in St. John's, but then St. Andrew would select the queen, and then the queen would then go up to contest or to compete on the national stage.
Mm-hmm.
Lately that has kind of ceased, but I also believe if we have that as something that is steady on our calendar, and based on all indication, this year a lot of people I was surprised at the number of persons that actually went up that went to see the Queen Show, and the debate now was whether the venue was too small for the present Queen Show. So I'm saying that maybe we might have to revisit the various parishes hosting the own Queen Show, and then you select. I think is a nice and of doing it, and then you select one for the national Queen Show.
Right, but I think maybe one of the problems has to do with maybe the different parishes, maybe the organizations were not able to put together the show as it was before, and so it created problem. So maybe this is why. But Reece, maybe you could help us here. The criteria for choosing a queen. Because let me tell you, Scholar made the point earlier that you have to be in a certain kind of way, and Scholar had made mention about a queen that apparently had a child, and that caused all kind of confusion. And I made the point because I remember even at Miss World level, Reece, if you remember that when Venezuela won Miss World, and then she get fat, and then all kind of problem because of that. So you have to be in a certain certain kind of way. So Reece, you have to help us out here.
Well, to come off from what what Livingston was saying, yes, in the past that's how it used to be in St. John's as well. There was a queen show, and the queen show used to be like a village queen show. So you had representation from the different villages like Concord, Grand Roy, Guave, Maran, different prominent villages, and out of that queen show that would have happened this year, the queen would have represented the following year. I remember that happening. I also remember the same kind of ad hoc kind of way that we're doing it now, where you just select somebody who is willing to participate, and you look for sponsorship for them, and that's it. Today you find people don't necessarily know the queen. They're asking who it is because they would not have had that pre-show build up, that opportunity to know who the queens are, because they would have represented from a village level prior to going on to represent it at the national level. So it was something to work for and aspire to. Now it's different. In terms of what you look for in a person, at first there's a surface, and back in the day, you had to be, I think, like a certain size. Maybe in some areas. In St. John's, you could have been a little plump. I've seen that. You just had to be considered pretty and maybe bright, but pretty. The fairer you are, the better. The more nice hair, quote unquote nice hair you are, and the more straight nose you are, you would have better been picked. You'd have been quicker picked to represent the village or the parish itself. Now you see people with more size, not necessarily proportionately even as per our standards of what models and queens supposed to look like. And that's the thing, there's an association with queens and models. When you're a model, there's a chance you'd be asked to become a queen, or if you're a queen, then you would be a contestant, you would be asked to model things. So there's this association with modeling and queen show. But really and truly, I mean, a lot of the things are mostly superficial, and they are surface, because oftentimes we see when the girls go up to represent and all that, you have a lot of hype on the outside, and substance from the inside is a whole other ball game.
Skulls.
You're free. Be yourself.
Skulls. Reece mentioned about people getting to know the queens, but I remember whenever queen show come around, every day in St. George's, you have a line of people in front Nikki shoe shop. You hear that glass?
Yes.
All them pictures and them there.
That used to happen in the village, in the towns too, because the pictures, it was hard pictures.
Yeah.
Not how we have it on social media now. It was a 4x6 picture put on a Bristol board, and you would have a lot of glitter and stuff, separating, and it was handwritten, what the name of the person is, what village they represent, their age. Right? So people knew, and same thing, they would stop by the gas station, they would stop down by Miss Campbell's store in Guelph to see who. So the constant traffic, and the like a rivalry would start, people getting ready to go and support and all that. And the same thing, as you say, at Nikki's. So when I went to school, we all went to see who the queens are. So today you hear people talking about you had to be a certain age. I remember I seen 25-year-old going for queen. This year we had some young queens, I find, fairly young. But now you'd say you're hearing things like 25, you're kind of old and all that, and I kind of disagree. Some people make up their minds differently. Some people opportunities come later. Some people blossom later. So.
But talking about the pictures, I can recall, when you go, you're standing up in front there and you're watching, and that's why they used to judge queen right in front in the glass case,
Well, that way you're judging all of that. That is really queen judging. Godfrey, let me just say. We need to. I ain't hear not from.
Yeah, I was just waiting for Reece to finish to go and read something.
But queen they always have a criteria for selection that we don't know about. Those who are selecting know what the criteria is, and them queen and them, some know and some does escape from the criteria. You don't know, but queen always have that. So in other words. For instance,
how do they escape the criteria? And they were chosen?
Escape the criteria. So for example, you can have a child to be queen.
Right.
I never have queen married.
Right.
Never have queen married?
No, I never had that.
Then with this swimsuit and all this kind of thing, you have to make sure that your leg don't rample.
You have to have figure.
You have even the rample and anyway,
but Reece, let's take some Facebook comments, eh?
Listen, somebody will deal with him, you know.
No, it's true.
Still said, hello, good night. We Culture Queen Show is a showcase of beautiful women on parade. Let's go. Cynthia is saying runner up so she could represent if the crowned queen is not available. That's why you have runner up. Delia is saying, but it's supposed to be king show. How it's sounding like women think so. Yes, Delia. It's a thief thing. They take queen show and they put men in it, so it's queen show for men. Cynthia said she came from Canada to compete. I guess that had to do with Gabby. Monet is saying hello to my friends on We Culture. It's a long time. I was not on the program. I missed you all well. Vacation is over. I'm back. Congratulations, Scholar. You performed very fantastic, and your song, I love it. Hi, Reece, Godfrey. How is Sylvester? Oh, and I think Sylvester must be Livingston. I can see you all are well and fine watching and listening. Hi, Monet. Cynthia is also saying,
see your man does get false name. Sylvester, what is it?
Sylvester.
and I'll listen. Now I find that name suit him, you know. See, he look like a Sylvester.
And that you and Scholar will try that now.
Why you doing Sylvester? Hold on. Yeah, nice ring, Scholar. Dr. Sylvester. That's so good. Anyway, go ahead.
I think Doc have some explanation to do, you know.
Sylvester.
Anyway, Cynthia said the guys, meaning you guys, are well up to date. Y'all know about hair stages. And Sonia is saying Doc is making excuses. Cynthia is saying some people were not interested in the Queen Show because references were made regarding the slaves as to how slave masters got them all groomed to parade in front of the slave masters when they were up for sale. Remember, we say carnival is about our freedom. You know what, Cynthia? Something in the back of my head was telling me that Queen Show have a colonial root. And I was hoping that I ain't hear it, you know. And I wasn't going down that road either. Anyways, Dodo Child says River Silly had a wonderful Queen Show. Yes. Excellent Queen Show. Sonia Mathlin Scott is saying, in other words, from a certain standard, in my opinion, back then. Dodo is saying, yes, the slavery mentality back then. Cynthia is saying, even 8x10 pictures posted in prominent places with their bio. Right, so she was saying not just 4x6, 8x10 as well. Let's see. Yulin is saying, Godfrey making me laugh. Okay, yeah, he is. Dodo is saying, Doc, were you called Sylvester for a reason? Kim K is saying, Godfrey cracking me up here, entertaining topic tonight. And the last two comments, Monet is saying, I apologize, Livingston, for calling you Sylvester. You all have me cracking up. Very funny. I met in a market April 23rd. Okay, so she met you in a market. Okay. Right. Okay, so that's the comments that we've seen.
All right, lovely. We don't have any on the. Oh yes, I think there was one on the WhatsApp platform. Right. So someone says here, over the years, there had been Queen Show at Old Mass competition. This year I was disappointed that it was not part of the agenda. I don't know. I couldn't see.
Yes. Remember Bassanio and them used to always be in this Queen Show. The Old Mass, it had a segment that was Queen Show.
Okay, but it's
like drag queens.
But it's fellas.
Yeah, it's fellas.
Oh yeah.
But that one here is not the same thing, eh? I seen Carriacou already at Queen Show for men, like good Queen Show evening where being escorted on stage and all that kind of simmy that you see in the Queen shows there. But that Queen Show in that old mass is an old mass kind of Queen Show.
Okay.
It's funny. It's like cross-dressing and, yeah.
All right. So let's go to, well, let me take a call. This person been calling a while, so let me just take that call. Yeah.
Suzanne needs to call.
Oui Culture, good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, caller. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I may not be able to help you all with the how Queen Show was started or created. I'm not that old, but I can probably give a little insight into Queen Show in the 60s and 70s, and the old news is not always good news. Because in the 60s, in particular, Queen Show was an elite show, meaning you had to be of a certain color, class, and family connected to actually participate in Queen Show. If that was not written into the rules, it was the case. In addition to that, it was probably one of the only sponsored shows. So you would find that a lot of the business owners and so sponsored queens, even if it's their daughter or their niece or some person they knew. And therefore, everything related to Queen Show was always better than Calypso, Combo, or Steel Band, because Calypso, Combo, and Steel Band actually used to take place on the same night. That's on the Friday night. In addition to that, in fact, I should mention that the first time a dark-skinned person with an afro took part in Queen Show, that person was sponsored by the Prime Minister or the Premier or whatever it is at the time, E.M. Gary, and there was real confusion and controversy having an Afro woman taking part and winning the Carnival Queen of Grenada. That is how I would say the base it was. In fact, we people, the St. George's people in particular, raised hell that the daughter of a fish vendor and an Afro and very dark person won the Queen Show. I believe that might have been somewhere around 1970 or 1971. So the Queen Show itself, and where I don't know of its origin, but somebody mentioned, I think the Queen on the show there mentioned something that she probably would not have liked to hear how it came about. I think it probably came about different, because this was the real showing carnival that followed the Queen, the elites, and in fact, the fact that the children of the, let us say, the planter class were the persons who participated in it, which is why even the prizes given were much more. In fact, I can tell you that the first time a car was given, the car was actually an Austin 1100. The very older folks would know what I'm speaking of, right? And that car, when that car was given, it did have some controversy, because at the time, I think that the person who won the Calypso competition probably got less than $500 or something like that. And the car might have been worth about $3,000 or so at the time. So Queen Show was always separated, treated different, given more resources, right? And it followed more the kind of European standard and standing, which is why it was probably treated different. So as I said again, I can't help you with how it was created and when it was created, but I know from, I would say, I would have started observing it from maybe around 1965 and so, and that was the theme of it. It actually got very big because I think in about the mid-70s, you sometimes had 13 or 14 queens there, because there was some competition by the business sector to make sure they sponsor a queen, the hotels and the business sector. Most times people they knew or their daughters or their relatives, but it got to a point where we had 13 and 14 queens, right? And based on who sponsored you would kind of indicate who would win, because your costumes would be much bigger than the others, etc. So I hope that helps with the discussion on the Queen Show. So the Queen Show we have probably now is more representative of the nation as a whole, because you definitely find somebody from out in the outskirts of St. George or in Sautez can actually win the Queen Show, whereas that may have happened before the 60s, but that person had to be of a particular maybe color or maybe family, or had some connections that made them not ordinary people. Thank you, and sorry for being so long.
Thank you very much, caller. Very, very interesting. Thank you very much. Sylvester, what you say?
Godfrey, I'm going to lie on right, you know.
I don't think. I don't feel
that. I want to apologize. Yeah, but you know something the caller said, and thank you, caller. You actually give us a mouthful that was really good. Mm-hmm. But what I actually want to put in.
Did you all recognize the voice?
It sung familiar, but the voice sounded like somebody in a union person.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm sure he doesn't have a problem with you calling his name.
Well, I just want to make sure I ain't wrong. But
you don't have to call his name. You just have to say, but you know.
But again.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Doc, you were saying.
Yeah, I was saying that I think, as I said, it actually was a beauty contest. I don't think it came out of the whole idea of colonialism or colonization. It came out of, I believe, America or the English showcasing their beauty. And then when we copy it wholesale. So you had to look alike, walk alike, dress alike as Europeans. So the people that were chosen, they had to have the hair was, straighter than scholar own, light skin, brown, very light skin, etc. And they had to walk and dress and play that role. So it was really revolutionary, and something the caller said that I think I'd said that on that program already, that Uncle Gary was the only, in my mind, person that actually embraced the Grenadian culture and his Afrocentricity. And that is why Jennifer Hussein became the queen in 1970 and won Miss World competition in 1970. That is why I was not even aware, but the caller mentioned about sponsoring somebody with an afro to go up for Queen Show in Grenada here. So I am saying that there are two significant things. One, the change in terms of what was considered to be a queen, and even just in recent time, for matter of fact, when you had Naomi and those ladies out of Africa that went up and became queen, and they had the clean shaven and the natural hair, etc. It was seen as being revolutionary because you challenged the norm in terms of what was actually what was beauty. So Gary had led that way, Uncle Gary had led that way, and then the world now is evolving. I think somebody mentioned earlier on about Mr. X when he sang the song about my
Carnival Queen? Yeah, my Carnival Queen, yeah.
My Carnival Queen, right. And then he featured the Carnival Queen, and he said what she would do here in Grenada as a true Carnival a true Carnival diplomat.
And Grenadian, like...
A true Grenadian, eating our long and doing things
on the ground, yes.
Right, you know. So that was his true carnival queen, somebody that embraced the Grenadian culture. So Mr. X, in a sense, and he is very calypso, was criticizing the whole idea of the Eurocentric version of beauty and embracing this all-encompassing Grenadian nature. So,
but Skulls, let me ask you, was it really called, Carnival Queen? I don't think so, you know. I think it was a national queen show competition. I don't think there was carnival to it, you know.
You see, and that's where you have the kind of paradox, because really and truly what Mr. X exposed there was that because they're just a departure from this whole queen thing, as opposed, because remember, they are king and queen at the banner.
Yes.
King and queen at the banner is carnival queen and king.
Exactly.
Right.
No, there's just a departure from what you're speaking about with all the queen thing and where the queen thing come out, as opposed to the whole issue of carnival and what carnival is supposed to portray. So, in reality,
Kana, you said is different from the national queen show queen, and he was talking mainly about the queen, the carnival queen.
Well, yeah, but
two different things.
And that's why I asked earlier the question: how did this queen thing come to reaching carnival? Right? What is the link? I could understand queen show and thing. I mean, I like me queen show. I like Miss Wall. Yeah, Miss Wall. Yeah, Miss Universe. Yeah, Miss Port. Yeah, Miss
Universe.
Understand all these things and them. But how did this come to enter
in carnival?
Right? Because when you look at Queen and how Queen had to walk and thing which she dressed,
they're talking us what we're doing.
And you have to talking us what because you notice Queen does have to speak and Queen had to press a smile, a kind of smile on the face. You have to press it and leave it there. So they always have to be smiling and walking in a car way and so on. The only thing we can see that resembles carnival is when they're in the costume, and you remember you had parties in the spirit of carnival and so on in the costume. But other than that, this long maxi dress and you walk clo, and you spin and what I have to do with carnival? Well, now we're seeing the bikini section have to do with carnival because carnival is bikini section straight. Right? Yeah. And then you have all kind of other things, you go and answer question. And the truth is that this is where they just mess up most of the girls because for one, I mean, so many questions. I mean, if you go to questions taking you about 6 or 7 programs, you know, because why I never see.
No, but scholar, but also, you ever when you listen in Queen Show, when you listen to people, especially after they announce the results, right? The person who ends up being the queen, there's a lot of conversation around how she answered the question. You know?
Well, that is what was determined queen in
how you answer the question.
Let me tell you, you could make my way whole time.
And if you answer your question.
Answer the question.
And that seems to be the least practiced area.
You're supposed to be queen, you know. That is how. So, what was it?
People, no, I was just watching. But people, you know, when the queen come up, one time for question and answers, the audience does go into a serious silence, you know.
Yeah.
Because they're waiting to hear, you know, and if they like what they hear, there's this uproar.
Yes. And if they don't like what they hear, sometimes, and they don't like what they hear, but here is an evil.
Yeah.
Sometimes that is just not what. But the truth is that a lot of queens have been known to falter at that stage. I remember as a queen show, the thing is going good. The other queen was going real nice, and then they ask them some question about that, some capsule or some kind of, you want in a capsule or some kind. No, these and them are unfortunate questions because first of all, you have to determine that queen know what is capsule. Before me say didn't know what is capsule.
I remember that question all the time, capsule.
Capsule,
I remember the capsule question.
I don't about the capsule. Queens are to die up. And the queen, she sit down, she listen that, she tell them, repeat that again. Because you know, queen.
Can you repeat the question? You have to repeat the question.
Like they thinking, they hear good, but
they don't know.
So they thinking what it is. And then she tell them, repeat about 4 times, and she realized, nah. She was understand. People had, that was the horse at that time. You see, boys, so, and queens have been known to talk about for the guy that king. You know, there was a queen they say at time they asked, well, what do you think about the men? That's a question about the men in your village. And you say, right, me do that with man. Up to that much.
What?
As a matter of fact, only recently, it was not long, maybe 2019, 2018 or thereabout, I think they asked a queen a question. Some question and the queen say, well, she a head, you know. No.
There was one as well when they asked her about how she feel tonight. She said she's cool, calm and collective.
Well, you want to ask how she feeling tonight, and she says she feeling weak. But you see, it's unfortunate because while as we speak in We Culture and everything, and Doc was making the point, and Bort was making the point also, and this is where the departure is, because while it's Grenada Carnival Queen and whatnot, a Carnival Queen dare not answer a question using colloquial term.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
And answer in proper English, and as a matter of fact, Queen does think you have a way they does have to answer the question. When they ask you the question, you have to repeat the question so they, you know?
Yeah. And at the end,
question and answer.
And there is a particular way they just end it. When they finish answer the question, they just say, I thank you.
Yeah.
In a particular way, I thank you.
That's it.
That Queen thing. But guys, we have a final break to take. Let's take it, and we're going to come back because we have to go to the telephone. Somehow I'm feeling Queen trying finishing tonight. Let's go back to the telephone, folks. Not sorry. Let's go take our break and we'll be right back.
Kindly greasy pole, and without dance from the maple.
Hubbard's is giving away loads of prizes with Live Free for 1 year 3.0. Same promotion, more prizes to be won. Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big every 2 weeks. Win! Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Cash savings account from the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited. Free electricity for 1 year. Free Coca-Cola for 1 year. Free property insurance for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Free lunch packages from the Creative Chef. 1 free gas cooker. Free internet and cable for 1 year. And free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 28 to September 16, 2022. Live Free for 1 year 3.0 is brought to you in part by Chief Brand Products, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Carib Breweries, Danny, Flow, Creative Chef, Grenlex, Supreme Bleach, Promos, Sol, Dutch Lady, Coca-Cola Grenada Bottling Company, Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, and a Food Fair Supermarket. Terms and conditions apply.
This could be out. Brilliant catch. What a stunning catch.
The biggest party in sports, the Caribbean Premier League, is back and live on GBN television. Capture the energy, excitement, and euphoria of the beloved game. 34 matches, 6 teams, only one to be crowned champion. The action starts August 31st and runs until September 30th. Live on GBN television at K105.5 and 105.9. It's no carnival, but you will enjoy the mass.
And you're kidding me! You are kidding me! Alsari chose.
one day I woke up and, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. Nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey.
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Raise it high up the ladder, let we set it on fire. A little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo, a little more shango. Find the greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maple.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We Culture. We're talking about Queen Show. And, oh boy, so much. Reece, let's take some Facebook comments. And we need to take some calls. The telephone line is going like crazy. So let's take the comments and then we'll try and get some calls in.
Okay. So we have Ali Pascal is saying that Queen Show is rooted in Eurocentrism. Cynthia said, I can see her now. It was a shock when she was crowned. It was out of the norm in the day. I guess that's the lady with the afro.
Yeah, I think
she's also saying that.
Did they give the name of? I think someone had put the name of the person.
Meryl Otley.
Yes.
Right, and she's also saying that the name of the show was National Queen Show back then. We have Dodo is saying Kawe, long time. I don't hear that word. Cynthia is saying diction is taken into consideration when answering. Let's see. Then we have, scholars seem to be cracking up everybody. Ernesto Marquez is saying good night, folks. Sunday will be Grenada Day in Brooklyn. Okay, thanks for that. Ali saying Mr. Seatal on a radio program recently said the costume segment carries the most points in the Carnival Queen Show. Okay. Glenna is saying there was a year when the Queen couldn't answer the question, ask a question, I cannot recall, and she walked off the stage. Oh, okay, so she couldn't answer a question and she walked off the stage. Okay, guys, my computer had shut down, so I don't know if I'm missing anything, but that's all that I'm seeing right now.
I think let me see. There was a couple. Okay, so somebody say Godfrey leave Doc alone. Then Queen. Alright, okay, so that right, Kawe, okay. Alright, somebody saying Ali Pascal, scholar needs to compile and put out a colloquial dictionary. I totally endorse that. Right. Dodo says the question period is what should decide the crown. Many times a person might be leading and soon as the question period, that person mess up. That's it. Someone said that one was from St. Patrick. Scholar is the greatest. I cry. Honesto, good night, folks. Sunday will be. I think you read that one. Okay. Well, no, I think I'm.
Yeah, we have one here where the person is saying, Jose, actually. I remember a Queen show in Sotes when a queen was asked the national dish, and her answer was crab, callaloo, and chicken. She could have never be from Guam. Seriously. Okay, Jose. Thanks for letting us know.
Right.
Yeah. And Sharon is saying that it is true that she was at that show. And Victor BC is saying it was good to see McIntosh as queen. Good luck, Reece. Okay. All right. Who's McIntosh that was queen?
Macintosh. I remember Macintosh taking part, but I don't think that person won. Well, the person I know, I don't recall. Unless it was in the early years. There's one comment here. Good night, Godfrey. Before, we used to have young ladies in school who were well disciplined, intelligent, beautiful, and friendly. That young lady would be the village choice, who will then compete with ladies of other villages. Then the winner would be the one to represent the parish for the National Queen Show. Okay. Let's see. Someone says. Right. Godfrey, a queen in the sister aisle, forgot her sponsors. I heard the MC telling her. Alright, in a Queen show during the interview, Troy asked the crowd to keep quiet 3 times because the queen was stammering. Well, stuttering, baby. Somebody say, right, the name of the queen was Meryl Otley.
Yeah.
Right. Also, in the mid-70s, the JC's Club were the ones who ran the Carnival Queen Show. I remember girls were often chosen from the convent schools, for example, to be contestants of the Queen Show. Right, and someone said, actually someone sent me a WhatsApp. They said when Meryl won the Queen Show with her afro, it was Black Power time in Trinidad. No, Black Power time in Trinidad, and Trinidad was having a hard time dealing with it. So Uncle Gary, being that astute politician, said when your neighbor house on fire, wet yours. He started to show real love to black people. The Rastas got the whole pavement in front of NIS to sell their afro things. Then someone said, scholars say it wrong. The contestant say when she was asked about men, she said man to sheet up. I didn't hear what scholar said.
That was it.
That was it, yeah. He said she don't tell with man to sheet up. I don't know what man do on the sheet up. Right.
Okay,
and they said, and Lou Smith used to host, dressed immaculately, and he used to have a bow tie. I remember that.
Oh, y'all, I need to apologize. So the Macintosh who was won is Reece McIntosh.
Oh, that's this year.
Yes, it comes back to the familiarity. How it was done before and compared to how it's done now.
Well, look at that.
I mean, sinking and so,
Yeah.
So it's Reece McIntosh, yes. And thanks for that, Jenin.
Right.
Guys, you all remember too that they used to have Junior Queen Show? I remember in Guelph there was a Junior Queen Show as well. The children was in the primary school area.
But how you got that junior? Well, anyway.
Yes, they had.
Let me just say that. If I say that, Sylvester go laugh me, so I go say that.
That princess.
There was Junior Queen Show.
But I feel when you talk about, but scholar, when you talk about junior, they're not boys.
No.
Junior.
Yeah, I find junior is boys. When you talk about junior, they're not fellas.
It kind of mean like
I find so.
Was the secondary
school.
You
got junior girls?
Well, I don't talk about junior girls. Junior is boys.
But you got junior girls
yeah. But not in Queen Show.
Exactly.
But you could have junior in Queen Show.
You have a junior department. It have girls and boys. I don't know. Leader Free, you come last with that.
Well, like that tell all if I say them Sylvester go laugh me. That just
Godfrey.
Anyway, yes, let's go to the telephone. We have the phone's been going forward. We Culture, good evening.
What? Good night, everybody. Mr. Sylvester, North Jeffrey, good night, everybody. But I never see a North shape nice. So what? Are the best shape North here, have we? Hey, Mr. Sylvester, good night. That name suits you, boy. Don't take Livingston again, Mr. Sylvester better. Godfrey.
Hey.
Long time used to have carnival, children carnival in the cinema. Girls going for Queen, boys singing Calypso. And every year Randy Isaac used to come first, you know. Because Randy Isaac used to really sing. You understand? I don't know why Randy can win a Calypso King. I find it about time Randy could sing, you know. But he just bad lucky. But though, I had my king, Stunner. And Stunner come quite down, but Stunner father win, so I still win. You understand? But like you know some fit boy. What? And I did not start giving vaccine. I find that he not start giving the vaccine, you know,
Susan, you ever go for Queen?
But I lose some weight, I feel next year I'll go for Queen, you know. Yeah, I kind of slim and thing, not big and heavy again. So I feel next year I'll go for Queen. Yeah, I had the figure and I high shoulder, I go start to walk in it from now. Because you have to be able to step in hills free, you know. I see a lot of young people going to work now and they don't wear a little heels, flat shoe alone. So when they have to go for Queen, they have to practice.
Yes.
Yes, and I want the world to know I meet Reece. Oh God, we had a good time.
Yes, we did.
And she fit in between my children because
Nala is Susan's 16.
Yes, we fit in together.
Yes.
So Reece, you come part of my family. Yeah. Godfrey, I hope you're not jealous.
No, man.
All right.
My sister Cordina and I, we chat.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, everybody, good night.
All right, lovely. All the best. Yes, indeed. All right, so the number 435-2041, folks. We know we need to get the calls coming in, so you can give us a call now, and you can get to add your little 2 pence on the whole issue of Queen Show. Let's go back to the telephone. We Culture, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
I want to add my 2 pence to the discussion.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. Remember, when the masquerade started, was in the great houses, the houses of the plantocracy. They wore masks, and they had these beautiful balls, and the slaves looked in on the windows and saw it and decided that they wanted to make them. So, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you. Go ahead.
Right. Then the carnival came out on the road. And that is why we have the phrase on the road. Because that's when it became very public and it became very egalitarian. And anybody could play mass. It was not just a upper class thing. Well, the upper class had their criteria for judging because they had competitions. But what I want to put to you now is, do you remember a lady called Pansy Rooley? Pansy Rooley, and there was a man called Dudley Springer. And somewhere in the 50s, these two people decided that they must have competition. So they devised different competitions, and the Carnival Queen competition was one of them. And I don't know when it started, but it used to be an urban thing. Slowly, just the town people. And as somebody said before, the firms in town, the companies, they would sponsor a person, and she had to be connected with the families and all of that of the plantocracy and the color and all of that. It was not just everybody or anybody who went up for Queen. And as Doc said, Uncle Gary decided that he was going to send up somebody from Maran one, and we know the story about that one. She was not very, eloquent in her speech. And when she decided that she wasn't going to be married because her hobbies were dancing, swimming, and lovemaking, and the MC asked her, how come she not married? And she said, well, them married man too sheet up. But never mind. But this is, I would say, a tradition of the city. It was a city tradition. Getting into the parishes came a little later, possibly in the 60s and 70s. And I remember going to judge a princess competition in one of the villages outside St. George's, outside town, so to speak. And we were 3 judges together, and we got the criteria from the people who organized the competition, and we judged based on the criteria. But the crowd wasn't happy at all with the results. So we had to escape through a window at the back of the hall and never judged again. I decided I'll never judge anything again. But you have to have all those things that goes with the Carnival Queen competition. How they selected the judges? Sometimes they went down to the hotels on the day of the competition and asked for 3 people down there in a hotel, or 2 hotels, or 3 hotels, or so that they were sure that the people who were judging didn't know the people at all. That was one way of selecting judges. The other way of selecting judges, of course, would have been people who were prominent in all different kinds of aspects of cultural activities. Having served on the Carnival Committee then, I remember being in charge one year of the queens. And that year we had 12 queens. And we got out of there before 12 o'clock. It was always a show that had to be well orchestrated and well organized. And if you didn't get out of there early enough, well, that was mass. The mass started then. So the Carnival Queen Show competition, and it's a Carnival Queen Show, not a National Queen Show. I don't know where this National Queen Show story came from, but I would say that Panzeroli, Dudley Slinger, those were the people who really started that show. And it took off from the masquerade that happened in the plantocracy, in the great houses of the plantocracy.
Okay, thank you very much, Kola. Thanks a lot indeed. Well, it was a little muffled. I couldn't hear a lot of it, but I think much of what the caller said echoed the sentiments of Bert earlier. Yes, we do appreciate your contribution, caller. Let's go back to the telephone and see who is with us. Oui Culture, good evening.
Good evening, fellas.
Yes, good evening.
And good evening to the lady fella. Good evening.
Yes, could you turn the volume of your device down and listen to us on your telephone, please, and go ahead.
I remember in St. Patrick's in the 60s, they used to have the village competition first to select a queen. I remember it was in 66 or 67 when they had a contestant from Chantimel, Miss Philip, I think her name was Elena Philip. The other one from Saters High Street, Lydia Hulas. There was one from Vasali, from Montrose. And the lady from Saters, Miss Lydia Hulas, she got the nod. The costume was prepared by LDM Nelson Backyard. The competition was at that place, it was called JC's Carnival Queen Show. It was sponsored by the JC's. And the only reason why Miss St. Patrick didn't win is because she was from the country. Everybody had us win except the judges. And in 1969, that that was the first time a black woman won the Carnival Queen Show. It was Meryl Otley from Grand Mall with the Afro hairstyle, and her prize was a car. And from then, she was the very first woman again to get a job at Barclays Bank as a black woman. And the next thing is, and those days, after the competition with the Queen Show, on Carnival Tuesday, all the queens would parade on the back of a truck, well seated, with good seats and so on. And what's the next one? I can't remember the rest now. But in any case, it was in 1969 when the first black woman won the Carnival Queen Show. Was Meryl Otley. And in those days, people like Jonas Brown and Hubbard, W. Julians, Huggins, and so on, said a queen. And you had to be colored, well intelligent. As I said, the first person was a black woman, Meryl Otley. So, have a good night.
Okay, thank you, caller. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. So guys, we're getting close to wrap up, but I wanted us to talk a little bit quickly about the actual night itself and the actual performance, if I should call it that. I don't remember. Well, I know the different stages. What is it again, Finley?
Well, you have introduction.
All right.
Introduction as well as the TTV.
Yeah, you have some big clap there too. When they come and they say, yeah, I remember that.
Right. Then they just tweak the thing, you know. You just have a kind of ambassadorial thing.
Yeah.
That way, them queen and them had to cram some long fans thing they have to say. And
about where they from.
And mind you, with all the cramming, if you miss a word,
you forget everything.
Mash up. And so they don't have some ambassadorial sometimes. Then you have talent section.
Right.
And talent section mostly going on dramatized thing. And monologue. This year was monologue.
Yeah, the monologue.
Then you have the bikini section. Then you have, I think it's the
man, it's not bikini, man. It is swimsuit, not swimwear. Long time was bikini. Well, them swimwear is bikini, so you make a difference. It don't make a difference anyway.
Me a long time, man. Bikini section, I don't know. And then you have the frack section.
Evening wear.
Yeah. Evening wear.
And then, frack is evening wear. They have the costume too. I forget costume. So real section, man. You have the costume, and then you have, as part of the same frack thing, you have the question, which is the real thing. Don't worry, nobody comes it out. Could say at the one about the
the Carnival costume section.
I don't get no most point. The most points is for the question.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think that's it.
Organizers of Carnival Queen Show.
Yeah.
Guys, this year they actually had a costume segment. If you have evening when you're doing your talent, you also have a costume segment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have a costume segment.
Like Donkey go to Queen Show in donkey years.
No.
It's not my favorite.
No, man, they always have a costume segment.
Now I thought Scala was going to start tonight. I mean, big time.
But
you like a Queen Show, you always like a Queen Show.
I like the Queen Show, but the history and the thing that you would
But let me tell you, with the costume, I remember, and things have changed over the years. And I could never forget there was a contestant from St. Patrick who had a very, I guess the costume was heavy. And in her, dancing and parading on the stage, she fell down and she couldn't get up. And they had to come and pick up all kind of thing on the stage because the costume was iron.
Godfrey, what year that was? You lie, man.
No, I could tell you the lady name. Boy, it's true. Margot Swan.
Why you lie? You say that was Margot.
No, it's true, man. I tell you. What to you?
Does she call and she couldn't
Yeah. Listen, the costume was really heavy, and how we think to the side, it was very difficult because all the weight went on one side, and they had to help her. Yeah, she can't stand on the stage.
He's trying to put a visual to the
Yeah, she can't stand on the stage, and they had to come and raise her thing and pick up, you know. Yeah, what you mean? And but no, let me tell you, there are some aspects of Queen Show that was really, really humorous. I see Queen already with the gong, the nice frock that too big and fall down, and they had to haul it up and thing, you know.
Well, I always does pray for them, you know, because you don't see no strap holding thing.
No. Well, that I tell you, he had one in particular. I think that she still come to.
After that fall down and she had to put it up.
He almost they had to grab it up and hold it up there, but
the only reason why she could come to. Maybe it's because she might be answering the question real good.
Yeah, she was a bright girl.
Others were worse.
She was a bright girl.
No, man.
And I feel he had like a more in the matter beside the person.
Yeah, but there's one thing, I noticed about Queen Show. Queen Show is that thing. Well, I don't know for this year because I didn't follow Queen Show this year. I got into dark. I did like dark now. I haven't followed Queen Show for a couple of years. So like 2019, I can't remember who win Queen Show. Who win Queen Show in 2019, you see?
You had Queen Show that time?
What parish? I can't remember.
Maybe St. David's?
I don't find St. David's win Queen Show now, Was it not St. Patrick?
Yeah, man.
It's basically St. David or St. Patrick.
Oh, St. Mark.
Oh yes, St. Mark's, Odessa, Merriman. Yes.
Oh, right.
Before that was St. David's.
So that was popular victory, St. Mark's. I mean, Merriman, he come for second, third, fourth sheet. He come out left, right. Not first, second, third, sorry. First runner up.
Not first. She win Queen. First runner up, second runner up, and third. And then everybody else have that come fourth.
Appearance.
So besides that, I think people just gauge what happens in terms of the final result, because Queen have a lot of other liquor results. So Queen is not one result. They have a lot of liquor results they just give.
This congeniality.
Best evening wear, best this, best that.
Best and from sense, when they start the best, you end people starting to pause because they realize it.
The way they come going.
But because, let me tell you, Queen Show, even more than Calypso and so on, those are the most controversy in terms of results. You know. Everybody that watching Queen Show could judge Queen Show, you know, and they don't know other people looking for it. Really, you know, but why? And every time, or most of the time, people just feel that the person that comes second was supposed to win. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then people come out, they team the second place. The second place supposed to win. Yeah. And then there was a year, I remember, there was a girl from St. Patrick's. She win almost all them
nice things.
And she still don't win.
Oh, I don't really think.
You don't remember that, Reece?
Well, I know Ashida had won every category, right?
No, man.
I don't know who didn't.
Rihanna something. Warren.
Oh, Rihanna Warren.
Yes.
Oh,
Rihanna Warren win all them categories.
Yeah, I was.
She didn't answer the question.
You mean?
So now
she did well.
She didn't win the question. But she win mostly all them rest of things, and she comes second.
Yes, that's true.
But they mash up the spice bag.
I remember that.
Oh boy.
Rihanna was a beautiful queen.
Well,
talented. I remember her evening gown.
You see when I say you know the thing, you know the thing?
No, no thing, I follow thing, you know.
You know the history.
I was following Queen Show when as Queen from St. Patrick's, I can't remember what year it was, when they asked, what would you do to preserve the national board? Godfrey, remember that?
I remember that, but I remember what she said.
The Queen said she go get a house and put them board. By what? Stadium, that time I think was stadium roll.
No, I tell you, no, serious. The inside of that competition at night, he has have all kind of thing happening. And I mean, that's when I used to enjoy Queen Show. But since them girls get bright, they want you have to have degree, masters, bachelors. They don't make it mistake again.
Because you see, traditionally, queens were like laughing stock on the night. A lot of people went to Queen Show to get a laugh.
So
not to back, but to see.
No, you're backing, but
they go for worst queen, worst runner up. No, they go for bad runner up, worst runner up, worst runner up. That's what people went for. So queens know they started developing a fear of entering because they might get laughed at. Whatever happened on the night. So now you find people who are going for queen are people who are like teachers, like Reece, McIntosh, people who are studied, who are learned. You know, they're the ones that are going for queen now because this laughing thing all it does be doing there. You know, easy, you know.
Yeah, they have to change that.
Yeah, that's why people stop going Queen Show.
Nah,
if they want people start to go back in Queen Show, they have to go back to the original thing.
Yeah.
So I go leave me home, go in the stadium and sit down for 4 or 5 hours and can laugh? No. I might just well stay over and stay serious.
The monologues are supposed to be humorous.
Anyway, fellas, let's take one final call and we have to wrap. Oui Culture, good evening. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, good evening. Yes, good evening.
I remember in the 60s, the first woman to get a Carnival Queen was a lady, Florine Hope. She was the former wife of Sir Ralston Hopkins. With a white, she got a white Triumph Herald, 253.
Okay, all right. Thank you, caller. I didn't know that. But guys, listen. We out of time.
Take some Facebook comments.
Yes, let's take some final comments.
Okay, so Velma is saying until Trinidad stole our crab and callaloo, this used to be our national dish. Zavid said, what is your favorite dish? That was her question. She answered Pyrex.
Yes.
Dodo shall say they need organizers and designers for River Sally for next year's Queen Show. She's also saying that Godfrey Doc will call his lawyer. You're giving too much trouble now. Ernesto Marquez is saying, I think Queen Show more commercialized than before. The contestants wearing less clothes and tighter stuff and pop-up breasts. Thanks. What we used to know, even the swimwear is outrageous. I think we need more decency in our culture because it will sink. I remember going home early to watch a Queen Show or Miss Universe, but not me again in front of a television again. Let's see. Ali passed. Okay. Claudia is saying, watch all you too big for that. Turn off all your blasted radio. I guess the person who called and they still had the radio on. Cynthia is saying exactly, interview carried the points. Ali saying this year most of the queens had a dramatic piece on the jab for talent. Ernesto is also saying to be a queen, it takes a lot of money as campaigning for an election. You need to have sponsors. I agree. Ernesto is also saying Godfrey. And mind you, me don't know when it's Jose Ernesto, when it's Ernesto Marquez. But we have two Ernesto now. Godfrey, where you got that one, Queen from St. Patrick's falling off stage? I never heard that one, Godfrey.
Well, I didn't say she fell off the stage, you know. She fell on the stage.
Yes, but all the two Godfrey was a lie too. So
No, that's true. No, that's true. I'll tell you, it could have been. I don't remember the exact year, but I can tell you that may have happened in the early 90s. It could have been around 91, 92, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember well, because I had a partner from St. Patrick that we used to work together, and he had a certain name that we used to call. So I that stayed with me. I never forgot. Yeah.
So last two, Ali saying it's not a comedy show, Godfrey, and Dodo is saying they have to control the crowd at these shows. I don't know how you're controlling crowd at these shows.
Why you want to control the crowd? How?
And I don't know why we need to either.
Yeah.
But that's a comment.
All right. Let me just see if we have anything on the WhatsApp platform. So someone says here, good night, Susan, you make my night. Good night, everyone. Nos special good night. This year, the carnival, it's a shame how the woman didn't dress properly. And all shame men dress better than women. Well, right. In 1980, the PRG banned queen shows. They said no parading of women with their body exposed on stage. I don't remember that. You all forget the young ladies in secondary school used to go for queen show. Wendy McIntosh was in the 1995. She was from Cherry Hill and she was a beautiful young lady. All right. That is a nurse who gave KCM the vaccine.
Okay.
Right. That's all the WhatsApp comments we have. So guys, closing comments. Doc, let me start with you because you're disappointed us when you come. You didn't have the philosophy and thing to lay on us, the history. So we'll start with you.
Tonight, both my colleagues and the listening public will recognize I was out of my league tonight, really not aware, not knowledgeable. So I left the the three, because to take the lead on Queen Show. But I believe, on a serious note, that the Queen Show, National Queen Show in particular, has become a mainstay where a good number of people look forward to. And so I also recognize the changes that are taking place. It's now becoming a lot more, closer to a Caribbean expression or to a Afrocentricity, Afro expression. So I think it is a good thing that is evolving, and it would continue. I don't see it being unabated right now at this stage. So maybe next time I will take my spend some time and go along with scholars, sit down and be educated as to the various categories and the nuances I should look for in the next Queen Show. So scholar, I'm asking for a ride. I don't think you stay home. I'm asking for a ride as of now for the next Queen Show. So you will at least give me a tour and then can I help me, enlighten me on the various categories. But I think all in all, it was a good program, and I almost certain a number of persons enjoy what we talk about tonight.
Alright, Reece?
I think we need to have a Oui Culture Queen Show for men.
But Reece, one person win already. What kind of
and I'm challenging you all to come with your best wig next show. No bald wig.
Well, Doc Moss wear a bald wig? Scholar too?
Wig. I know Scholar have plenty wigs because he tell us about how much.
Scholar go lend me a 2 wig.
Whatever.
Icy wig man.
Yes. So airing, other seating, he airing the missing. Oh, didn't see that wearing on?
No, me that 7 day Adventist.
You didn't see the nice. What else about like a watch hanging down? You didn't see having nice watch hanging down. What else do that? That's not what.
Yeah.
That's not what. That nice watch does hang down on the chest.
But you don't know, maybe that you take, I don't know, that you take pressure.
Pulse? Let me check your pulse.
Take pulse and then put the thing in your mouth.
Thermometer?
The time they get below your arm, then they watch it.
They just stick it in your butt too, eh?
Anyway, Reece, make your comments here, Reece.
No, they just push thermometers in baby's butt.
It was dark and
you never know if under your arm no they would stand in, you might have to push it there.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so remember, wigs next week. Go with your best wig. Right, and I enjoyed tonight's show. I'd like to say congratulations to Reece McIntosh. We have to show enough respect to Reece. I'm disappointed that we didn't pick up on Miss McIntosh winning. It's actually Reece, so congratulations to you. You seem to have been the most consistent on the night. So although I did think that the thief for whoever get best swimwear, Miss St. John was supposed to get best swimwear.
Always thief.
Right. And I want to say big up to all the young ladies who would have represented St. John's in the national queen shows and every other queen show over the years. Those especially who went to the Anglican high school, like Lexan Medford, like Kim Francis and Karen, Minister Karen James, to name a few. So congratulations to all of you on your
She go for queen? She went for queen?
What?
Karen James was a queen?
Yes.
How much she come?
2016.
Much she come?
I was a chaperone too.
You come fourth.
Fourth?
She came first runner up.
What first runner up? What?
She came first runner up.
Everybody, Reece,
Reece,
let me tell you something, eh? If you have 7 queens participating, they give you the queen, first runner up, second runner up. If you ask any one of the others how much they come, they tell you food.
Food, yeah.
Well, they are right, you don't give them the results.
All of them type of food, you know.
Yes, they don't give them the results.
But they have to stop that because they announce them when them Calypso and them come last, they call out the name and they call the name the loudest. And at first, when the Calypso come last, they call the name first.
Let me tell you, them is all tests, you know. They're going up there on stage and they're challenging everybody. And they feel they can tell anybody anything. They can handle their last. They can handle that.
Anyway, go ahead.
Ask him. And Suze, just to let you know, Randy might win sometime to come because Padna say he coaching now. So Randy
like to believe it's stupid, is Reece?
No, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. My king doesn't lie.
What? He doesn't. Hold on.
No.
Hello, Reece. Hold on. It's my partner. Hold on. It's my partner, and we just agree on most things. But that king is supposed to sing this year, you know. That king didn't sing here.
That's why when I tell him, I say, boss, you're like Boise. He get vexed and tell him, I could compare him to Boise. I say, but like, you can't help it. You must go in competition.
But no, the thing didn't bite him. The thing didn't bite him yet.
This time he mean it.
Anyway, Finley go. The last man standing. Nurse Jeffrey.
I never say I don't compete again. You know. I say as long as the first prize reach 100,000, I don't compete again. That's different, you know. Once you go up to 100,000 a day,
you're not taking a break.
Anyway, forget that. But I want to really tip my hat to all young ladies who develop the belly and the fortitude and the nerve and the bravery and everything to brace that crowd. It's not an easy thing. To me, it's much easier to sing than for people to stick a mic in your mouth. And that's the unnerving part, I think, of the show, is the question and so on. And you know, I tip my hat to, I believe that these young ladies and them, after they come out there, they need to and I do begrudge them all the jewelry and thing that they just get, because woman does make themselves see trouble in high heel shoe. And that little woman and them does have to stay in that high heel shoe for a long time. And to me, that is torture. You know, and they just line them up on the stage. People come in, they singing all kinds of, they give them flowers. Them girls want flowers, you know, them girls want to see them. But they give them flowers, then they pass, they give them something else, and all this kind of thing. But so it is not an easy feat whatsoever. And any young lady who would have dashed into this, you know, I have to tip my hat to them. Now, one of the things I want to say here, because we spoke about all the little minor Queen show and so on. McDonald College had a history of Queen show, you know. We had Queen show at almost all levels in McDonald College for years. This was organized basically by my wife as teacher, and so many carnival queens got their break from that, you know. Yeah, we see boasting about them like some Medford and what? I don't know, I forget boasting about this thing. But McDonald College is where, for example, Ashida Charles was nurse. That was she first Queen show. We had Alejandra John. So we had people, you know. And even she taught in McDonald College, you know.
Well, John?
Manuel.
Okay.
Manuel. Yeah, so you see, don't believe you could boast on me with thing, you know. We have it when it comes to Queen.
I know they have it locked, man. I know they have it locked.
They have it locked, but although I hear people say, because one thing, St. Patrick's it take a kind of thing as though we own Queen show at one time. But I realized lately, and I haven't followed it, but people say St. Patrick's started to pick up people about that. According to how Olympia is by the side of the road. They start picking up people by the side of the road, it seems. So, Reece, we go fix that. We'll fix that. And next year, please, God, when you see a bring Doc take you ride and he come with me. We go in and St. Patrick's will clean up St. John.
Doc, you guys, you got to trade that to Queen, boy. You know, St. Andrew has not been big on Queen in church, you know.
Nah.
Calypso and thing, yeah, but not Queen.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two in between, but I must say St. Patrick has had, there was a time when St. Patrick was...
St. Patrick's the badass crap. Yeah. We kind of lose with shine a little bit now, but Doc could do that, because remember Doc. But we
but we had a very notorious queen from St. Andrew, you know. You remember that girl from Grenville? What's her name? Trisha Grant. Yeah, Trisha win Queen show all about the place, you know.
Trisha
Grant, yeah.
Yeah, she win Queen show all about the place, but I think
she never won
the walkout when they took out the capsule.
Oh, she? Yeah, she never win that.
And mind you, she win the Queen show already.
Yes.
Well, she was a favorite. She popular.
Yeah, they just waiting to put the crown on she head.
For matter of fact, I think she was one of the most promising that looked like she could have taken the thing international.
Yeah. But no, there was another girl from St. George's too who was very, very, very popular. Ross, Kelly and Ross. Yes.
That's my relative.
Kelly and Ross.
We go all about.
Yeah, she win all kind of Queen show about the place in truth. Yeah.
And she's still doing her thing.
You know, he does that last question. That last question. You know, they was always accuse them questioner. They don't say you have certain queen what they give question long to prepare.
Yeah. Well, how can I think does happen?
They don't know how fluid the answer. They say, no.
They give them that.
The capsule one. One queen what the answer that.
No, one of them queen about capsule.
Yeah, the capsule was one queen. All the rest who walk out, who faint.
So let's cry. Anyway, guys, listen, we are out of time. Thank you all so very much. Of course, folks, we'll be back next week to continue on We Culture. So, thanks again, our viewers on GBN TV, our Facebook fans. We thank you so very much. And guys, I'm seeing a lot of new names on our Facebook thing. We're happy to have you all. And of course, continue to stay with us and share the program. So enjoy the rest of the evening and the weekend. Thank you very much, guys. All the best. Have a good one.